This is Saar On Tour. I'm Saar, your host, and I'm taking you along to the biggest race of the year, the Tour de France Femmes. Feel the atmosphere from your sofa, hear real voices from the roadside, and get the latest takes from our own She Rides analysts. The race is on right now, and you're coming with...
Hi everyone, welcome from Saumur, where tomorrow's stage will start. I'm recording this one at 8:45 p.m. I tried to wait a bit to see if we would have some updates I could cover on this episode, but we haven't seen too many updates yet, and I also didn't want it to make it too late, so here we are. Of course, the updates I'm talking about is about the big crash we saw today, but more about that later. So today we had a sprinter stage going from La Gacilly to Angers. La Gacilly, a very small place. It has around 4,000 people living there, but a lot of people there at the start. I think I arrived, we had a very chatty Airbnb host, which maybe made we were like a half an hour later than we would have normally, but that's okay. It's all part of the experience. So we were there, let me think, so about 11:30, something like that, 11:30 a.m., but really at the place, not just arrived in the car. We were really in the city center, you know what I mean, where everything was happening, and already the crowds were massive. Everything around the podium was packed already. Of course, there isn't as much place as in a city like Brest or Van, for example, where the people can go everywhere, and when there are a lot of people, there's still some place and some breathing room left. But yeah, again, so beautiful to see. The crowds have been amazing. It's crazy. Every day you think like, okay, yeah, the first day you had, okay, start stage, famous climb, wow, nice. And then the other day you think, okay, still Brittany, impressive. And then today you think, okay, it was the weekend, now it's Monday, and they were here again. Yeah, awesome to see again. So since everything around the start podium was already packed, I was positioned a bit further down the road because there's not too much place. So it was like the buses in one street, and then the street went through, and then when you drove out of that street, then you had there the podium and also the way to the start. Yeah. I stood somewhere in the middle, which was quite a good spot. We saw all the riders coming through. Of course, there's She Rides guests. Also saw another She Rides guest, Audrey, again at the start. So yeah, was and Kate. So two She Rides guests apart from the racing, which was nice to see and to talk quickly. Yeah, something that was also remarkable. The first and only team actually that wore face masks to the start was the Visma Lease bike. So that was also something that was remarkable. Of course, we also know there's going there are quite a lot of stomach issues in the peloton. Elisa Longoborghini had a DNS behind her name because of that. Apparently about 3 other riders in her team were suffering from stomach issues that night. Also, some less nice She Rides news maybe is Sarah Gigante dislocated her shoulder last night. Yeah, so very much not nice for her, that one. And then I'm thinking if there's something else to mention about that start. Not really, I think. But there is something, but we will get back to that later. And then so the start, then we had the effective start. There was no full coverage, so we didn't see everything, but there was a break with actually a pretty strong break. It had Alison Jackson in there, Sarah Martin in there, Latimier, and Catalina Soto. So as you've probably heard, are not 3 national champions in there. It was a very strong break, and it was obvious because it took, as he works, even Canyon SRAM, a lot of work to get them back. Why Canyon SRAM, you would ask? Consoni isn't here. yeah, very strange move of Dijgert's doing a few Ks at the front of the peloton with Nivea Doma in her wheel. You could say safety reasons, but yeah, you could maybe also do that just behind as the works as well, which was kind of a strange one. If you see the outcome again, yeah, you could ask yourself why, but yeah, it always seems to happen a bit. But in the end, it wasn't the support from Canyon SRAM that made sure they closed the gap. It was actually, yeah, the group started a bit, didn't really work with each other from 10K on. They had still about 30 seconds, which was a good gap because they were riding all day to get back to them. But then we had an attack from Sarah Martin there, and then we had Alison Jackson reacting. At that point, Latimier was dropped, and then they came back together and they didn't want to work, and then we saw another attack and another one, and then in the end, so we mostly had actually Sarah Martin and Alison Jackson attacking each other, and Catalina Soto coming back every time. And then in the end, we saw a final attack from her, from Soto, which was impressive, but it was obvious she was pretty dead, but she did get a gap because Jackson and Martin were looking at each other. And yeah, then when it's split up and you don't work together, the peloton grabs you. But yeah, then we were a little afraid. I think everyone knew this before. Like, I don't know who said it before, but someone said it are all straight, wide, beautiful roads until you get to the last K or something. And we saw that very hectic. And sadly, we saw a harsh crash with a lot of riders down. We had Borghese down. We had, of course, Vollering down as well, and definitely some others there were sadly riders coming in tears over the finish line. We had the whole FDG team who was, of course, very down after that crash. We had Vollering herself looking in a lot of pain. So yeah, it was Tour de France chaos on the baddest way possible. It was not nice to see. I'm always like, it always hurts me to see people or cyclists disappointed or sad or just in pain because they are, of course, in the middle of the attention and they are very vulnerable at that point. So yeah, it was actually a very sad scene there, I have to admit. Yeah, that was not nice. So first of all, I would say I hope everyone's okay. It didn't look like it, but you know, miracles happen, I guess. So we will see what this means for tomorrow. It would be sad if Vollering looked hurt, and then yeah, it almost feels like the tour is a bit cursed, or at least the GC is a bit cursed. We had Reusser abandoning on day one. We had Longo Borghini abandoning. We had, Lotte Kopecky, it's not going her way at this point. Now we have a Vollering crash. So yeah, the only main favorite, I think, who hasn't had anything yet is Nivea Doma. And then more outsidery, you could say Kim LeCour. But yeah, is not really favorite. That's outsider. Ferrand Prévot is okay still. Yeah, Sarah Gigante, depends how it looked. Yeah, it wasn't all. Also, it wasn't worry-free for her, of course, but yeah, it's not nice. But Peterson was also involved in the crash. There were a lot of riders involved in the crash. We saw a harsh one from Volkers Wessels as well. I'm not too sure who it was. Balsamo was there too. So yeah, I did see just an update about Letizia Borghese, who has a lot of bruises and stuff, but no broken bones. And then Balsamo should probably be okay, is also something I've read. But for the rest, I can't give you more on that for the moment, I think. Yeah, but then back to the race, because there was still a race just with a very small peloton. We had something I personally like to see today was Lotte Kopecky leading out Lorena Wiebes, or putting her in the right positions, and also she was also working for the team today, which was just something I liked seeing, that she could do something, and she did well. So we saw that, and we just saw good work from As He Works. We had the lead out, Van der Breggen was there as well. And then we had Rouek, who did, I think, was it Rouek? I think EF at least, We did the final lead out, and then it was already Wiebes who started sprinting. And as said so many times this season, when Wiebes sprints, what can you do about it? Not too much. Vos stayed in the wheel, which is good, I think. And then we had Wollaston at 3, something good for FDG. Jastrap at 4, and Lippert at 5. Beautiful one as well, I would say. Charibosset on 6. Love to see it. And then you really know that it was, the stage was, stage results were involved by a crash. If I say you that Nivea Doma is 8th in a sprint stage. So yeah, that one definitely not nice to see. So I very much hope everyone is kind of okay-ish. Yeah, so that's that. I was also thinking today, actually, I didn't really like yesterday. We had a hero, we had a moment of the day before we had a highlight of the day. And I did feel a bit lost about who or what do I need to call out today, because for me it was one very overshadowed by the heavy crash. And then yeah, a sprint also difficult. So I was like, let's just take one that hits home for the podcast. Let's go She Rides. And you know, She Rides of the day goes actually to Margot van Pachtebeke, and it's a broader one for purely today. Congrats to her for warming up the French people for non-French rider, which is quite a performance. They are very cheery for the non-French riders, but they are ecstatic for the French riders. And yeah, she kind of got Volker's Vessels a very enthusiastic crowd for them. With she put a baguette in her. She took a baguette to her with the podium, which was the French people like that. And then to stay in food, as we call it in Belgium, she did a little chasse patate. So basically, when the break had the gap of around 30 seconds, she did a move and tried to make it across, but the gap of the break got bigger. And Margot got caught back by the peloton again. So attractive racing. Love to see it. And then something that also just already deserves the She Rides of the day. Margot, I think, stayed with one of her teammates at the crash. I didn't see that. The big screen was too far away. I just saw one Volker's Vessels rider on the ground. And everyone from She Rides arrived pretty quickly and safe, apart from Margot. So she got me worried there for a second, but super good to see her coming safe over the finish line. And overall, Margot rocks. So yeah, I'm not wearing the t-shirt at this point. It stayed in the car because I'm in a very nice apartment. You can't see too much of apart from these little paintings behind me. But it was, we are parked a little bit further, so I just brought the essential stuff here. So yeah, that was the inspiration for today for the X thingy of the day. I didn't really know, so I thought Margot deserves one. So hope you're okay with it. Well, further today's stuff, we have our scoreboard from the Fantasy Tour de France Femmes. Yeah, I didn't feel like for yesterday's stage, I just put it online on our socials the next morning because I didn't feel like doing it anymore. We were more at the B&B kind of place than an apartment. So there was not too much space. There was no really Wi-Fi. So I just did as much as possible. And then I slept in early. But today I did update the scoreboard while driving, since I was like, okay, we might as well wait a little bit longer to see if we get any updates. We have an in Tour de France leader of the stage. Yeah, they do better than most of us, because we even are top 2 at the moment. 2 in Tour riders, which is confronting, but hey, happy for you. We have Petra Sjasniat won with 11 points. Margot van Pachtebeke again, second on 9 points. They both move up. Then we have Christophe, who's not here, on 3. He moved down a bit with his Col DNS. 7 points overall. Then we have Amy Twigge and me as well. So shared 4th place. So 4 and 5 here. Some alphabetic order. There are some others who are in the 6 points category, but I did it on alphabetical order from our first names, because I didn't put last names in my little thingy. So we both have 6 points and some others as well. And our Lantern Rouge is for the moment Mieke Dox with 2 points. So that's it for what can I add to this. Tomorrow, normally another sprint stage. We're going from Saumur, where I am right now. I'm really very close to the city center, which is very chill, because we've driven some hours already. Today it was between the start and finish. How much was it? About 1.5 hours. But we also needed to wait. So the race already passed by. And then for one reason, we waited there for a pretty long time for the roads to go open. So we lost some time there. But in the end, we did find a pretty good spot at finish, or behind the finish. But that's cool. So that was that. And then we drove like around another hour after the finish. But today it was okay-ish. We will have days coming up where we're more in the car. And tomorrow we can just go by bike here to the start, and then it's again around 1.5 hour mark, I think, to the finish. But then it should normally also be not too far for us here from the finish to the Airbnb, which is chill. Yeah, looking forward to that one. Would be nice to see again a strong break going up the road. Maybe they also learned from today that maybe don't start attacking yet at 10k to go if you still have a decent gap. Maybe. So it could be nice. Let's hope we might see a strong break. Or yeah, in the sprint it's going, yeah, Lorena might want to take some Balsamo might want to take her final chance there, but we all know it's very hard. If you need to compete with Lorena Wiebes in this, she also has a star lead out with Van der Breggen, Kopecky, and the other teammates. So it's gonna be a hard one to beat Lorena if you're gonna make it come to a sprint. So yeah, we will see. Then I don't know if I forgot to add anything. I actually don't really think so. For me tomorrow, I'll do, as said, the start and finish again. And yeah, then I'm just gonna round this off right here. In the meantime, there didn't appear updates, so I'm gonna close it off here. I'm gonna eat some food, get a good night of sleep, and then I'll see you, or you'll see me on our Instagram tomorrow morning at the start. Okay. So that's a wrap for episode 3 of Saar On Tour. Don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube so you don't miss upcoming episodes. And don't forget to take a look at our socials, where we post daily and even more than daily updates on the Tour de France Femmes. Stay tuned for more, keep watching the fun, and we catch you in the next one. Bye bye!